Ethan's childhood sweetheart has been hospitalized for the 7th time within a year. He finally made that request to me. I want to give Sunny a wedding, just for formality, you should understand, right? This is the 7th time he has postponed our wedding. I smiled bitterly and nodded calmly. When I left, I heard his childhood sweetheart cautiously ask him, "Ethan, we've already gotten the marriage certificate. She won't cause trouble when she finds out, right?" Ethan stroked her hair and chuckled lightly. "She calms down easily, no problem." He was certain that even if he became a married man, I would still cling to him like a lovesick dog, waiting for him to get a divorce, then eagerly marry him. I lowered my head and looked at the photo just sent on my phone. I replied with a smile, "Pretty handsome, can we get married right away?" The other side was silent for a long time. Then came a message, "Aren't you going to get to know me better? My mom has already looked into it. She wouldn't harm me, would she? I, Ethan, have personally known you for 7 years. But a childhood friend who just returned to the country made everything go up in smoke." I replied with 3 words, "No need." I looked up at the private ward. Sunny was tilting her head back, looking at Ethan, her face full of girlish innocence. "Ethan, thank you for fulfilling my wish. 1 month is enough. After 1 month, we will get a divorce." A layer of tenderness appeared in Ethan's eyes. "No rush, wait until you get better before talking. My body is far from well, but I don't want to hold you and Lynn back. She doesn't want to hold us back either." Yet she quickly and efficiently went with Ethan to get their marriage certificate. But Ethan doesn't think that way. He stopped Sunny's suggestion with a strong tone. "You don't need to worry about her. Even if I think of finding her 20 years from now, she will still be waiting for me." His tone was firm, mixed with a hint of contempt. "That's good." Sunny smiled with satisfaction. The afternoon sunlight was warm, illuminating the faces of the two. I clenched my fingers, standing outside the door, my nose stinging. I didn't know how I escaped the hospital. I only felt that the moment I breathed fresh air, my chest tore with heart-wrenching pain. At the busy hospital entrance, only I stood still, as if I had lost my direction. A year ago, Ethan's childhood sweetheart returned to the country. Not with a fierce demeanor, but fragile and weak. She was ill, incurable, yet not dying, taking medicine to prolong her life. Ethan was heartbroken. He brought Sunny to live in a newly purchased villa and hired 4 or 5 people to take care of her full-time. Sunny liked playing tennis before she got sick. Ethan bought both villas on the left and right. He connected the yards and paved a tennis court for her. Unfortunately, Sunny didn't appreciate it at first and would disappear from time to time. She always frowned and said, "Ethan, I don't want to trouble you, just let me fend for myself." Ethan got angry and stubborn but kept finding her again and again. Later, Sunny was hospitalized 7 times. Ethan stayed by her side through all 7 times, unable to take it off. I originally thought he was cold by nature but was patient with me. His previous profile picture was very old-fashioned, just a landscape photo that he never changed. I nagged him for a month before coaxing him to change his Facebook profile picture to a couple's matching one with me. The first time Sunny was hospitalized, she said she liked line-drawn puppies. Ethan immediately changed both his profile picture and Facebook cover photo. The CEO of the group suddenly had a cartoon puppy as his avatar, which didn't match his calm and reserved temperament at all. Mutual friends all came to ask me if I was the one who forced him to change again. I couldn't say it out loud. This time, he changed on his own, for his little childhood sweetheart. Every time Sunny was hospitalized, Ethan postponed our wedding once. The 5th time, Ethan even offered to accompany her to take wedding photos. He said this is every girl's wish. Besides him, probably no one else in this life would fulfill it for Sunny. He hoped I would understand. I understood. The 6th time, Ethan gave the wedding ring he originally intended to give me to her. He said, it just so happened that Sunny also liked this style. He promised to give me a better one in the future and hoped I would be generous. I didn't stop him and let him give it. The seventh time, he said he was going to hold a wedding with Sunny. Without me knowing. They even got their marriage certificate before informing me. They also deceived me by saying it was a fake marriage. Since that's the case, I can only wish them a lifetime of happiness. A third party? I would never be one, no matter what. Unconsciously, tears blurred my vision. A black sedan slowly stopped in front of me. The rear window rolled down, revealing a face so handsome it made my heart tremble. "Lynn, get in the car." I was stunned for a moment, wiping away my tears as I asked, "What are you doing here?" The man in the car had a deep, charming voice. "Aren't you supposed to get married immediately?" He glanced at the luxurious watch on his wrist and said, "There's still time to make it today." At night, Ian's car dropped me off at the foot of my building. There was silence all the way. I sneaked a few glances at him. He kept his hands folded on his lap, his head turned to look out the window. His expression was calm and unreadable. I think he was probably also being pressured by his family to get married. So, since my family background is clean and our parents are old acquaintances, and I'm not bad-looking either, he didn't hesitate. He just took me directly to get our marriage certificate. I don't care whether he actually likes me or not. My mom carefully selected him, so he must be reliable. I'm also tired and don't want to go through the dating process again. I just want to find a dependable and suitable person to complete this major life event. It's also a way to show my parents I've done my part. Ethan kept postponing the wedding, and my parents were extremely dissatisfied. They said I was chasing after Ethan and bringing shame to the family. My dad said that even if Ethan became the richest man in the world, he still wouldn't look up to him. He even warned that if I insisted on being with Ethan, the family business would be handed over entirely to my younger brother, and I wouldn't get a single share. My mom was so anxious that she started setting me up on blind dates, just hoping I would come to my senses. At that time, I was determined to marry Ethan. I didn't even approve the Facebook friend requests from the blind date matches she introduced. Ian was the last one my mom introduced to me. She said that if I didn't take it seriously this time, she wouldn't care about me anymore. It would be as if the Ching family no longer had a daughter like me. It was also at this time that Ethan said he wanted to accompany Sunny to take wedding photos. In love, I had already been completely defeated. I couldn't afford to lose family affection and my career anymore. When I was about to get off the car, Ian, who had been silent all the way, suddenly spoke, "Take your time to pack, and when you're ready, I'll come pick you up." My breath faltered for a moment. Did he mean that I should live with him? His handsome profile was like a sculpture, making my heart skip a beat for no reason. Seeing me stunned and silent, he tilted his head and glanced at me, his tone indifferent. "You should move in and live with me." I nodded, having no reason to refuse. When I got off the car, he called out to me again. "Open your Facebook." I was stunned for a moment before I reacted. Since I added him, I had never opened Facebook for him. After fumbling with my phone in front of him, I showed him my Facebook page. "All right." He pursed his lips, nodded, and let me get off the car. After Ian left, I looked at the little red booklet in my hand, feeling a bit dazed. This was the red booklet I had always hoped to have with Ethan. I got it so easily. Although the partner wasn't Ethan, it seemed there was no difference. When I opened the door, I didn't expect Ethan to be there. He hadn't come back to live here for a long time. He often stayed with Sunny in the new house he bought. This large flat he bought was more often my own home. He looked very happy, the corners of his mouth constantly lifted. Seeing me come in, he walked over and handed me a beautiful card. I was very familiar with it. It was the wedding invitation I specially designed for our wedding. When I enthusiastically showed it to him before, he just coldly tossed it aside and said, "It's just an invitation, whatever." But now, the invitation has his handwriting on it, "Groom Ethan, Bride Sunny." I didn't expect it to turn out quite nice. His fingers gently stroked the pair of names on the cover. "The date is set for next week, time is tight, so we used a ready-made one." After a pause in his tone, he added, "When we get married, I'll find someone to design a new one." I stared blankly at the invitation. Even though I had already given up hope, at this moment I still couldn't hold back the sting in my eyes. Ethan saw me silent and also looked a bit annoyed. "Not happy? If you're not happy, then don't attend the ceremony." He actually still wanted me to attend his wedding with Sunny. I clenched the invitation tightly, pressing my lips firmly together. A deep sense of helplessness surged in my heart. Ethan, seeing my stubbornness, grew a bit impatient and said, "Don't worry, it's just a fake marriage. After fulfilling Sunny's wish, we'll go register." His tone was like a condescending charity. I lowered my head and didn't respond to his monologue. Ethan came over and pulled me toward the living room. "Come help me see how to arrange the wedding venue." When I shook off his touch, the paper bag in my hand suddenly tore. A stack of documents slid out, along with a bright red booklet. Ethan's eyes flicked over the red certificate. On his normally calm face, a moment of visible panic flashed. He immediately bent down, picked up the marriage certificate, and clenched it tightly in his hand. "You found it." He spoke in a matter-of-fact tone. If he had opened it even once, he would have known. This was not the marriage certificate between him and Sunny. But he was busy watching my reaction and never opened it. I chuckled lightly and nodded. "I know, you two have registered your marriage." Ethan curled his lips, his eyes a bit surprised, but he still said calmly, "Well, the wedding has already been held, so this certificate doesn't really matter. We're just putting on a show, the whole set, you wouldn't mind, right?" I didn't say anything. Ethan hurriedly explained, "We'll divorce in a month, it won't affect marrying you." Even he probably didn't believe what he was saying. After getting married, Sunny would have a once-in-a-lifetime honeymoon. Pregnancy, childbirth, parenting, as long as Sunny wants it, he would fulfill it. I was too lazy to argue with him. I just reached out my hand to him. "Give it to me." He awkwardly touched the cover of the marriage certificate and reluctantly handed it to me. "Put it back in its place, I need it when I get divorced." I ignored him, took the marriage certificate, and turned to walk toward the study. Before entering the room, I saw him happily sending a voice message on his phone. I said something like, "It's okay if she knows, just coax her a bit and it'll be fine." I looked down at the invitation in my hand. I sneered. Tore it up and threw it into the trash can. The phone vibrated. Ian sent a message. "Can I move out tomorrow morning? There's a lot of stuff, why the rush?" When we just broke up, he said to take my time packing. The other side was typing for a long time, then sent a message. "Move out in the morning, go to the Maldives in the afternoon." "What are you going for?" I asked. He replied, "Honeymoon." Approaching midnight, Ethan went out again. He was called out by a phone call from Sunny. Once he left this time, he probably wouldn't come back even after they got married. I started sorting through my belongings one by one. I had known Ethan for 7 years, been together for 5, and lived together for 4. Every item in this home was deeply engraved with our memories. The sapphire necklace in my hand was the first gift Ethan ever gave me. It is my favorite necklace. I stared at it for a long time. Finally, I slowly closed the jewelry box and placed it on Ethan's bedside. When I first met Ethan, he was very gentlemanly but also quite aggressive. At that time, I had just returned from studying abroad and joined my own company. The first business partner I encountered at work was Ethan. He was 3 years older than me and was already the helmsman of the Cheen Group at that time. Meanwhile, I was still full of student naivety. Having seen the frivolous and flamboyant second-generation rich abroad, I was completely defenseless against Ethan, who was beginning to exude mature charm. "Lynn, I have reviewed your proposal, but I would rather hear you talk to me in person." "Lynn, this sapphire suits you very well, but your eyes are more beautiful than the sapphire." At that time, he paid a lot of attention to me and was very thoughtful. He knew I liked Sichuan cuisine. Every time our project ended with a dinner, he arranged to go to a Sichuan restaurant. Except when I had oral ulcers. He would book the restaurant at a Cantonese place to make me more comfortable eating. When I was threatened and trapped in the parking lot by a bad business partner over project issues, he appeared just in time, saved me, and took me away. I don't know what he did afterward. I just never saw that person in the industry again. For a long time, I didn't dare to go out alone, nor did I dare to go to the parking lot. He would pick me up and drop me off every day, no matter where I wanted to go. He would put down whatever he was doing and accompany me. Even when I got a haircut, he would patiently wait by my side. He pressed on step by step, and I quickly fell for him. In my career, he guided me, helping me gradually become independent. Emotionally, he moved me, making me restless day and night. Many nights, his eyes were red and moist with a thin layer of sweat. No one could resist such an Ethan. He said it was hard for him to be moved, but once he loved, he would never let go. At that time, I didn't know the true meaning of this sentence. Later, I found out. The one he would never let go of was never me. Our story after we got together was very cliché. The more I loved, the colder he became. In the end, everyone outside said it was me who couldn't let go of him. I didn't close my eyes all night. I packed all my luggage. I sat by the foot of the bed on the soft carpet, scrolling through my phone. I came across a Facebook post from Sunny a few hours ago. She was wearing a face mask, making a peace sign at the camera. Tomorrow I'm going to try on wedding dresses, but I'm missing a sapphire necklace. What should I do? She sent it to me again to show. Just as I was about to swipe past, Ethan called. I stared at the phone for a long time and slowly answered. Lynn, Sunny is going to try on wedding dresses today, and she wants to match it with a sapphire necklace. Can you send yours over now? I let out a silent cold laugh. Those memories that played on a loop in my mind all night. It seemed to be mocking me. The things you carefully treasured, others didn't care about at all. I glanced at the green velvet jewelry box placed by the bedside. Coldly, I said, "It's by the bedside, come and get it yourself." After saying that, I hung up the phone. I didn't know what I was anxious about. It felt like holding back a burst of anger. Without hesitation for a moment, I dialed Ian's number. The man on the other end seemed to still be half asleep, his voice lazy. "What's wrong, baby?" I was stunned. Why did he call me baby? Did he get it wrong? "I'm Lynn," I reminded him. The voice on the other end was much clearer this time. "I knew it was you." I didn't ask further and said directly, "Can you come pick me up now?" When I first added Ian, I thought he was just another younger brother. My mom might have been placing some of her unfulfilled little regrets on me. The ones introduced to me before were all younger brothers by 2 or 3 years. The most extreme one looked very immature, probably still in college. I really have no interest in younger brothers with such fair and delicate looks. I prefer men with rugged and strong features. Later, my mom got smarter and stopped sending me photos. She just said Ian had just returned to the country and told me to chat with him first. So, the first time I added Ian, I opened his Facebook to see if he was another soft-looking younger brother. The result? Very good, a straight line. Maybe he hadn't opened his Facebook to me. To treat him equally, I immediately closed my Facebook to him as well. However, his Facebook cover photo caught my attention. It was the teaching building of the high school I attended abroad. The photo was obviously taken casually because besides the building, many passing students were also captured. Near the center of the image was the back of a girl. The girl was wearing ordinary jeans and carrying a pink backpack on her single shoulder. She had long black hair down to her waist. I stared at her for a long time before I realized. Isn't this me when I was in high school? Is this your alma mater? I asked him. Ian has a habit of typing for a long time but only sending 1 or 2 characters. This time was the same, he typed for a long time but only sent 2 characters. No. Then I actually appeared in your photo. We are quite faded. Were you traveling? Yes. I was attending university in the neighboring city at the time. I was curious why he used a picture of a teaching building as his background. His explanation was that he was studying architecture and really liked the design of this building. I glanced at the plain teaching building in the photo. I was a bit confused. Maybe to someone studying architecture, there was something special about it. However, our conversations did not become frequent because of this photo's connection. We never exchanged photos with each other. Occasionally, he would send me pictures of clouds. The clouds today look very beautiful. I have had a hobby of collecting clouds since I was a child. So every time I see the clouds he sends, I always chat with him for a bit. That day, when I heard the conversation between Ethan and Sunny at the hospital, he happened to send another photo and a sentence, "The clouds today look very beautiful." But this time, the photo was a bit different. The lower half of the photo revealed his selfie. It was that mysterious angle taken from below. The sky and his handsome front face were perfectly in the same frame. This deadly angle, combined with the lens distortion, did not ruin his good looks. At my most panicked and helpless moment, it was like a lifeline appearing beside a drowning person. Without thinking, I grabbed hold of it. "Ian, what do you think of me?" After a long pause on the other side, he sent a message, "You are very good." As if afraid I wouldn't believe it, he repeated, "You really are very good, very good." "What do you think of me?" I don't know why, but when I saw this sentence, my eyes suddenly became moist. I replied with a tearful smile, "Quite handsome, can we get married right away?" Some see me as a clingy nuisance that can't be shaken off. Others think I am very, very good. Ethan forgot. Even if I am a clingy nuisance, it was he who tore me off with his own hands and stuck me on his own heart in the first place. Ian said he would come to pick me up soon. When I was finally cleaning my own photos and data on the iPad at home, I found that Ethan forgot to log out of his Facebook. I just happened to catch his live chat with his brother. "Ethan, you're amazing. Even the sister-in-law tolerated it, completely under your control. She almost had a falling out with her family for me, and as long as I said I wanted to marry her, she would listen to anything." Ethan sent a low-key emoji. "So will you really divorce Sunny in a month and marry her again?" This is a question I also really want to know the answer to. Even my breathing gradually slowed down. The next second, Ethan's reply popped up in the chat box. "That depends on Sunny's health condition. If it's not good, just let her wait, she won't run away. Taking good care of Sunny is the most important thing, after all, we grew up together. Lynn is always on call and very obedient." A series of ha 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 ha. Someone also gave Ethan a thumbs up. "Well done, Ethan." I smiled faintly. I put the iPad on the living room coffee table. When I got up, I lost my balance and accidentally knocked over the precious blue and white porcelain in the living room. The sound of the porcelain shattering strangely made me feel at ease inside. As if guided by some mysterious force, I also knocked over two intact blue and white porcelain vases nearby. The porcelain shattered instantly all over the floor. Yet, my heart grew increasingly calm. The phone rang. Ian said he had arrived. I stepped over the mess and turned to leave. After getting in the car, Ian took a call. His expression was a bit serious. "Something came up, I can't fly this afternoon." I smiled and nodded, "It's okay, you go ahead with your work, I'll go by myself." He looked at me with some apology, his expression grew more serious. "Wait for me a few days, we'll go together." I originally wanted to say that he didn't have to specially accompany me on the honeymoon. We were just thrown together anyway. It's fine to live our own lives. But looking into the determination in his eyes, I couldn't bring myself to refuse. I really wanted to lie down in the Maldives for a few days. These recent things have exhausted me to the extreme. I had already posted on Facebook that I wanted to go on a vacation to the Maldives. A sudden inspiration struck. Could it be that Ian saw my Facebook and then suggested taking me to the Maldives for our honeymoon? I didn't ask him. But seeing that I agreed, his expression relaxed a lot. He continued to focus on driving. He took me to the front of a villa. He gave me a credit card. The new house isn't fully furnished yet, so you can add whatever you like these days. I raised my eyebrows slightly and silently accepted it. If he's this generous, then I definitely won't be polite. Although I don't lack money to spend, money given for free like this is not something to refuse. As a legal couple, spending his money is only right. Seeing me accept the card, Ian looked very pleased. He smiled slightly and went off to handle some matters. The phone rang at that moment. Knowing who it was, I didn't answer. A message came through instead. Angry? Did smashing 3 vases help you cool down? He sent another photo of Sunny wearing a sapphire necklace. Angry or not, you're still sensible enough to find the necklace. Sunny likes it a lot, so give it to her. I'll buy you an even prettier one next time. Maybe it was because he was too happy. He didn't even notice that I had moved out. Seeing that I ignored him. After 10 minutes, he sent another photo of a wedding dress. Covered with pearls, the fabric was high-end. It was the wedding dress I had shown him before. I had begged him for a long time to take me to try it on. He always said he was busy with work and told me to go by myself. But trying on a wedding dress alone, what meaning does it have? He obviously completely forgot, talking to himself. Your collarbone is beautiful, this one should suit you. This one is also nice, it shows the waistline, your slim waist would look good wearing it. One every 5 minutes on average. I don't understand, what is he doing? Did he suddenly decide to hold a wedding with Sunny? Feeling a bit sorry for me? I originally thought the two companies still had cooperation, so there was no need to block him. But I've had enough of his disgusting urge to share. In a fit of anger, I blocked his Facebook and phone completely. In the evening, Ian came back and told me there was a dinner party tomorrow night and wanted me to accompany him. I hesitated a bit, but when I looked up, I saw him looking at me a little dazed and aggrieved. Wife, can't you accompany me for such a small thing? He suddenly called me wife, and I felt a bit uncomfortable. But I couldn't stop him from calling me that. I just nodded, okay, I'll go with you. Ian kept staring at me, a few traces of dissatisfaction showing on his handsome face. Why don't you call me husband? I was stunned and blurted out, we're not that close yet. We're married, how can we not be close? Fine, I couldn't argue. I could only awkwardly call out, husband. Ian's face finally showed a bit of a smile. Late at night, a call from an unknown number came in, and I answered it. To my surprise, it was Ethan's voice. Lynn, my mom found out about me marrying Sunny. Don't be mad, go help me explain it to her. Ethan's mom is very picky. She has no good feelings toward any woman close to Ethan. In her eyes, no one is worthy of her outstanding son. But the excellent genes of the Chin family must be passed on. So, over time, she has been somewhat satisfied with me. But Sunny doesn't quite meet her approval. Sunny's father was the Chin family's driver years ago. That's how she and Ethan developed a childhood friendship. But Ethan's mom despises Sunny terribly. Ethan marrying Sunny definitely has to be kept secret from his mom. Now that she knows, he pushed me out to explain. I held the phone silently. On the other end of the line, Sunny timidly asked, Ethan, are we not going to have a wedding? Don't worry, I'll handle it. My mom likes Lynn, let her talk, it will be fine. Ethan comforted her. Then he said to me again, tomorrow night, go to the old house and explain to my mom. Just tell her that I was only acting with Sunny, and that I will marry you afterward. The people involved all agreed, and my mom had nothing to say. I don't have time. I refused him. There was a moment of silence on the other end of the phone. Ethan's voice was tinged with anger. Stop messing around, Lynn, you're not being likable like this. When you love me, you like me no matter what I do. When you don't love me, even my breathing is wrong. I didn't have time to argue with him, my tone turned cold. Ethan, you're already married, can you stop bothering me? Ethan was stunned and didn't say anything for a moment. I didn't wait for him to speak and hung up directly. After hanging up the phone, I realized that my hand was gripping the balcony railing. My knuckles had turned white. I turned around and went back into the room. When I looked up, I saw Ian standing by the door holding a cloak. "I'm afraid you'll catch a cold." He raised the cloak in his hand and waved it at me. I forced a pale smile at him. He closed the balcony window for me. Watched me get into bed and cover myself with the quilt. Turned off the light and quietly left. Closing my eyes, my thoughts were chaotic. I couldn't help but recall the first time Ethan took me to meet his mother. Ethan's mother was somewhat difficult towards me. It was nothing more than thinking that my family's business of this scale was not worthy of Ethan. Ethan immediately put down his chopsticks at the dining table and said in a deep voice, "Mom, this is your future daughter-in-law. If you still want me to come home, then restrain yourself." Ethan's mother, realizing her son's determination, no longer criticized me excessively. Once a month, I accompany Ethan to visit the old house to keep the elders company. Ethan's mother and I get along quite harmoniously. But the man who once stood up for me in front of his parents now, for the sake of another person, pushes me out to face the elders' anger. How ridiculous. Habit is a very frightening thing. When you have already quit someone or something, the inertia brought by habit will make your emotions fluctuate and cause unbearable pain. That time Ethan saved me in the parking lot made me, whenever I encounter an emergency, instinctively think of only one name. The next night, on my way to the restaurant by car, due to heavy rain, visibility was very low and the road was slippery. At the intersection, Ian called me and asked me to wait at the company so he could pick me up. I said no need, I was already on the way. The next second, the car coming from the side failed to brake. It violently crashed into my car. The car slid out, and I don't know how many times the front of the car spun before it stopped. In the end, I fell onto the airbag. Amidst a chorus of screams and shouts, only one name echoed in my mind. Ethan. Ethan, save me. Ethan, where are you? Ethan. I used all my strength to move my fingers and dialed a call. Unfortunately, the person who answered was a woman's voice. "Lynn, what's up?" "Ethan is taking a shower." "Should I hand the phone to him?" "Lynn? Hello?" Consciousness blurred. "Ethan, goodbye." When I opened my eyes again, there was a pure white ceiling. People surrounded me. My dad, my mom, my brother, Ian, were all there. Also, a middle-aged couple. Their worried faces instantly turned into joy. "Awake, awake, daughter, you really scared your mom to death." My mom hugged me and cried. My brother was also sobbing beside me, saying, "Sis, if you don't wake up, I will take over the whole company." Ian's eyes were red at the corners, and his nose was a bit red too. "Just cried?" That middle-aged couple held my hand, tears of joy streaming down their faces, saying, "Daughter-in-law, it's okay, it's okay." It turned out to be Ian's parents. A blessing in disguise. I just bumped my head and had a mild concussion. I was awake again within an hour. I looked at Ian and said a little embarrassed, "Sorry for delaying your evening plans." Ian looked at me deeply, his face pale, and said, "It's all my fault, making you drive yourself in this weather. Today was supposed to be a dinner with both our parents, and with such bad weather, we should have chosen another time. If we had gone on vacation to the Maldives, you wouldn't have gotten hurt." I looked into his guilty eyes and asked, "So, you postponed the honeymoon just so our parents could meet each other?" Ian nodded, his tall body holding fruit and a towel. He looked a bit at a loss. I thought to myself, I have to reassure your parents. I forced a smile and said, "It's okay, both sets of parents have met, even if it was in the hospital." My mom glared at me with tears and anger. "You stubborn girl, you've made us worry for almost 30 years, and finally, you didn't mess up with this marriage." My mom linked arms with Ian's mom, crying and laughing as she spoke. My younger brother wiped away his tears and whispered in my ear, "Sis, this brother-in-law is better than the last one. Look at his shoes." I looked down at Ian's feet. One foot was wearing a shoe, the other was bare. But he seemed completely unaware, just walking back and forth like that. Looking for the doctor, asking the nurse, pouring water, washing fruit. I picked up the other one for him, but I didn't give it to him. If he dares to bully you in the future, I'll tease him about this. My brother laughed lewdly in my ear. I gave him a glare. While I was unaware, Facebook had already exploded. The son of the song group heroically saved someone on a rainy night, and the other party was closely related to him. Such news was flying everywhere. Coupled with the video of Ian holding me in the heavy rain, the credibility was even higher. By the time I got my phone, Facebook had already been bombarded. Many friends thought the woman in the video looked somewhat familiar and came to ask me, "Did I have a car accident? Was the person in the video me? When did Ian and I get involved?" Among them, the ones sending the most messages were Ethan's friends. I ignored all of them and did not respond. When Ethan called me after changing his phone number, I was happily discussing with Ian that once I was better, we would go on our honeymoon. I casually answered the call, but the smile on my face froze. Ethan's calm and indifferent voice came through. "When are you going to take me off the blacklist? Haven't you been home these past 2 days?" Ian understood my expression and quietly got up to leave. I felt a lump in my throat and looked out at the lush phoenix trees outside the window. I thought back to the day 6 years ago when he confessed his feelings to me. It was the same season. He took me to a house surrounded by phoenix trees. Smiling warmly, he said to me, "Lynn, this will be our home from now on, our home together." I was very happy, but at first, I couldn't accept living together before marriage. However, I couldn't resist the reluctant look he gave me every time he saw me home. Eventually, a year later, I gave in. I moved out of my family home to live with him. From then on, my home became the place where he was. But now, he is somewhere else, building a new home with someone else. That house has long since become nothing but a ruin. After the car accident, the last lingering attachment in my heart finally faded away. I answered him calmly and clearly, "Ethan, I have moved out. We ended things a long time ago." Ethan was silent for a moment, then sneered. I also heard more than one person's laughter on the other end of the phone. "TSK TSK TSK, I told you, Ethan messed up." The real wife got so angry she ran away. Ethan took the phone away and scolded them angrily, then smiled and said to me, "Stop messing around, Lynn, he'll be back after playing outside for a few days. By the way, where did you put my marriage certificate? The ceremony is the day after tomorrow." I found it a bit funny. "Your marriage certificate, how would I know where you put it?" Ethan's voice sounded a bit helpless. "Why such a bad temper? You put it in the study that day, just tell me where it is?" I sighed slightly. "Ethan, I've never seen your marriage certificate." Ethan was completely impatient. "Stop messing around, Lynn. What I took that day was my marriage certificate." I said. "I'm married, Ethan." As I finished speaking, Ethan's breath faltered for a moment. But it was quickly covered by his laughter. "Lynn, you still lie now." A few people opposite quietly gave Ethan suggestions, their voices very low. But I still heard them. Everyone was chattering. Damn, the video of the Song family young master saving someone that went viral in the circle a few days ago. Could the female lead really be the real sister-in-law? I showed it to you back then, and you said it was impossible. The sister-in-law only has eyes for Ethan, and the one from the Song family is mentally unstable. How could it be? At this moment, someone pulled out the video of Ian saving me earlier. Watching it carefully. Wait, this woman, no matter how you look at it, is the sister-in-law. Ethan, why is there a green tint over your head? Ethan remained silent. Ethan, hurry up and ask. Ethan lowered his voice and scolded them. What nonsense are you talking about? All of you get lost. The other side quieted down. Lynn, you need to stop messing around, or I can't guarantee how long it will take to get a divorce. Ethan's voice was cold and harsh. I said slowly, they weren't lying, that was me. I married Ian. The call was suddenly disconnected. I thought for a moment and took out the SIM card. I've been using this number since returning to the country. Changing the phone number abruptly would be inconvenient for both work and life. But now, staying away from Ethan is my biggest demand. Ian came back from outside. I smiled and coquettishly said to him, "Honey, my SIM card is broken, get me a new one." Ian was holding a fruit plate, his eyes shining. He quickly made a call and gave a few instructions to his secretary. I recalled what Ethan's brother said on the phone just now. Someone from the Song family is mentally unstable. I ate the fruit he handed me while secretly observing him. I didn't think Ian had any mental issues. Except that he talks a little less, but he's attentive and considerate, and even occasionally acts cute. He's just too normal. Unable to suppress the curiosity in my heart, I hesitated and asked, "Ian, why did you marry me?" Ian was sitting on the sofa, working. Hearing my words, he uncrossed his legs and stared at me blankly. "Do you remember Rain Man?" "Rain Man? How could I forget?" I opened my mouth, pointed at him, my tongue a bit tangled. "Are you Rain Man?" Ian showed a gentle smile. "It's me. Rain Man is a friend of mine on Instagram. When I first went abroad, I was only 15 years old and unfamiliar with everything. I didn't want to mingle with the local second-generation rich students. They're kind of decadent parties. I attended one once and felt extremely uncomfortable. The white social circles were not easy to integrate into either. Over time, I became the odd one who kept to himself. Sometimes, I go an entire day without saying a single word to anyone. After a long time, I was afraid I would get sick from holding it all in. So I started venting crazily online. I opened a study abroad students' confession page and chatted with people from all over the world. Rain Man is a net friend I met at this time. He suffers from depression. You can feel the suffocation in his messages between the lines. He said he has felt like a machine since he was a child. His existence's task was to meet the expectations of his parents and family, to become the best person in the crowd. But no one cared if he was tired or happy. He said he was about to suffocate, holding a tight string every day. As soon as he opens his eyes, he has to compare his thinking with foreigners and his diligence with compatriots. There are so many outstanding people, and if he takes a break, what awaits him is his parents' silent, disappointed eyes. Even though he has worked very hard, he still can't get first place. He can't feel the meaning of his own life. Although he faces life with a smile every day, only he knows that this is just his mask. In fact, he barely has the strength left to force out a smile. He said that if one day he disappears, he hopes these words can be his final confession to this world. When I saw this outpouring at that time, I immediately became anxious. I was really afraid he might not be able to hold on. So I frantically sent him private messages, hundreds a day. I shared my life with him, what I ate today, what classes I attended, what books I read. I took photos of the sky and clouds every day and sent them to him. I told him I have a rather meaningless hobby, collecting clouds. I have collected 10,086 pictures of clouds. Actually, life being meaningless is quite fine. Just like the clouds in the sky, they drift aimlessly. But whenever I look up at them, my mood always improves. They have now become an important collection for me. You think life is meaningless, but chatting with you has already become one of the most important things in my life. I believe your parents don't only care about whether you are excellent or not. Your existence is actually their greatest joy. If they don't think that way, then why do you treat them as parents? Why force yourself to meet their expectations to the point of death? You absolutely must not disappear, otherwise I will have no one to chat with, and I will suffocate. In my day-after-day guidance, there was more liveliness in Rain Man's words. The studies were still busy, but he seemed to have found a way to reconcile with himself. He also gradually started to share with me the daily records of his life. A meal, a landscape, a cloud. Our chats like this lasted for 3 years. But one day I was carelessly robbed, my phone and ID were all lost. After getting a new phone number, my previous accounts were gone too. Among countless Rain Man accounts with the same name, I could no longer find him. But I always believe that he is now living well somewhere under a cloud in the world. I looked at Ian with surprise. The familiar feeling I had when chatting with him in the past surged back. You look good, very good. I was a bit incoherent, but he should understand what I meant. Thanks to you, I was able to come out of it. Ian's voice was calm, yet full of strength. I suddenly realized something. You secretly went to see me, which is why there was that photo. A faint blush appeared on Ian's face. Why didn't you just meet me directly? I was afraid of scaring you. You were in high school at the time. He paused, then added, isn't it the same now? Honey. After saying that, he looked out at the sky. Cheerfully, he said, the clouds look really nice today. I am a result-oriented person. If the result is good, the process doesn't matter. The next day, Ian and I went on our honeymoon. Our married life was exceptionally harmonious. Whenever I wanted to do something, Ian would quietly accompany me. It wasn't that he found everything interesting either. He doesn't want to be apart from me for even a second. He always asks me, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? I'm still a bit unaccustomed to being able to express my own ideas after never being able to before. When I'm with Ethan, he makes all the decisions about where we go, what we eat, and what we do. If I suggest even a little of my own idea, he says, then go by yourself, and come find me when you're done. If I want to do what I want to do, I have to endure being alone. Many times, I feel very confused. Is this really the life I want? Before, I always wanted to try making a handmade silver ring. When Ethan heard that, he didn't even look up and said, that's so cheap, if you want to go, go by yourself, I won't go. As Ian and I passed by a street stall making handmade jewelry, he noticed me looking twice and stopped to ask, want to play for a while? We had originally planned to go to the beach. I didn't want to delay his planned schedule and hesitated a bit. But he smiled lightly and said, do whatever you want, I'll accompany you. I had really wanted to try making silver jewelry for a long time. So I didn't hesitate to link arms with him and walk into the little shop. Then you accompany me and also take nice photos of me, I said. Ian curled his lips and let me lead him. That day, although we didn't go out to sea, I fulfilled a small wish I had always had. Ian's phone album is filled with photos of me carefully making silver jewelry. He tirelessly records me and is never stingy with praise. Wife, you look so beautiful when you smile. Ian, who usually speaks little, praises me as if he wants to bring out a dictionary to find more words. Finally, when I put the finished piece on a chain and hung it around his neck, he seemed to have received a priceless treasure. He kept looking down at it repeatedly along the way. When we returned to the hotel, the front desk greeted us, Sir, Madam, welcome back. He suddenly raised the ring on his chest and replied, how did you know this was made by my wife? It really is quite beautiful. With the smile at the front desk, I felt a flush of heat on my cheeks. I was about to pull him and run away quickly, but when I turned around, I saw a figure rushing towards me. Lynn, come back with me, let's get married. How did Ethan suddenly appear here? Today, he should be having a wedding with Sunny. Ethan's face was dark. His eyes stared fixedly at the arm Ian and I were holding. His voice suppressed his anger. Lynn, do you know how much effort I put into finding you? You're going too far, come home with me, don't mess around with strange men. Saying this, he reached out to grab me. Ian pulled me behind him, blocking me like a mountain. Ethan frowned and said rudely, Ian, please step aside, this is none of your business. Ian was about to speak. I stepped out from behind him, tightly holding his hand. Calmly, I said to Ethan, he is my husband, the one who should leave is you. Ethan obviously didn't believe it, his tone impatient. Stop messing around, Lynn, I even flew over specially to find you, what more do you want? Don't think that just because you showed me a fake marriage certificate, I would believe your lies. Hurry up and come back with me, before I lose my patience. I smiled slightly, my tone puzzled. I gave up again. Ethan, I remember today is your wedding, what are you going crazy for here? Ethan's tone faltered, his eyes darkened with sorrow. I'm not marrying Sonny anymore, I'll file for divorce when I get back. Come back with me now, and in a month, we'll get married. Ian squeezed my hand a little tighter. I returned the grip with the same strength to reassure him. Then I faced Ethan coldly. I told you before, I'm married. On the day you told me you were going to hold a wedding with Sonny. Ethan's face turned pale and sallow. Then he looked down and gave a self-mocking chuckle. Raising his head again, his expression was cold and fierce. Lynn, I've given you a chance, don't regret it. After saying that, he turned and strode away without stopping at all. This is the Ethan I know. He just can't understand how I, who have always obeyed him completely, suddenly disobeyed. And in front of his friends, making him lose face. That's why he chased after me to question me. But once I refused him, he lost patience. Thinking of teaching me a lesson, he turned and left. Back in the room, just as the door closed, Ian pressed me against the wall and held me tightly in his arms. He didn't say a word, just held me motionless like that, letting me hear his deafening heartbeat. After holding me for a long time, my shoulders were sore. He suddenly said, tomorrow we'll go take wedding photos, and when we return to the country, we'll hold the wedding. We originally got married in a blur, without any thought about the wedding. When he mentioned it, I thought about it and it seemed we really should have one. After all, which girl doesn't dream of wearing a wedding dress? At night, Ian pinned me down on the bed. He kissed me again and again, tirelessly. The next morning, the weather outside was warm and sunny. Ian had arranged a wedding photo shoot, and I needed to get my makeup done first. With my eyes closed and headphones on, I let the makeup artist dab and brush on my face. Then a call came in. I raised my hand to answer, and Ethan's mother's voice came through. Lynn, what's going on between you and Ethan? Why did he suddenly tell us he wants to marry Sonny? Unexpectedly, Ethan had come clean with the family. He truly has deep feelings and loyalty towards Sonny. I opened my eyes, thought for a moment, and calmly replied, Auntie, Ethan and I broke up a long time ago. I don't know much about his matters. On the other end, there was a deep sigh. What nonsense are you talking about? You are already the Cheen family's future daughter-in-law. Stop being upset and go persuade Ethan. The young couple should be fine. I smiled and patiently replied, Auntie, I am already married to someone else. Besides, Ethan and Sonny have also obtained their marriage certificate. They are a legal couple, and holding a wedding is appropriate. Ethan's mother completely ignored the first half of my sentence. Upon hearing the news that Ethan had gotten the certificate, her voice suddenly became sharp. What? They got the certificate? Oh my God. Chaos erupted on the other side. You could even hear the sound of a cup breaking. After it quieted down, Ethan's mother caught her breath and said, Lynn, come over quickly. I'm going to force him to get a divorce right now. Sorry, Auntie, I am abroad. My tone was calm. Ethan's mother took a breath and asked, when will you come back? I smiled and said, I'll be back next week. To hold the wedding, and I will definitely invite you then. Ethan's mother groaned for a long time and kept scolding me for doing such a thing. She also warned, you missed my son, you will definitely regret it. She truly is Ethan's biological mother. The things the mother and son say are exactly the same. I think I will never regret it. After finishing my makeup and hair, it was time to put on the wedding dress. Ian knocked and came in, holding a very large gift box. I asked him what it was. He just kept smiling and urged me to open it. I opened the box, and inside was the wedding dress I had been longing for. How did you know I liked this one? Ian took out the wedding dress and spread it open. You had it saved on your Instagram. After changing my phone number, I also changed the phone link to my Instagram account. He traced it and found my account. So all the messy things I saved on Instagram, he must have seen them all. You flipped through it all? Several times, just flipping through when there's nothing else to do. Ian said casually. But my heart stirred. It seems he really likes me. Hurry and put it on, it's tailor-made for you. You know my size? I regretted asking right after I did. The makeup artist was still there, Ian said without changing his expression. I measured with my hand. I swear. I saw the makeup artist girl sneaking a smile. After the wedding photo shoot, I was so tired I collapsed in the hotel, not wanting to move at all. At this moment, Sunny unusually sent me a message. I was so busy blocking Ethan that I forgot to block her. She sent me another wedding invitation. I heard Lynn got married, so I'm looking forward to you attending the wedding of Ethan and me. You've been with him for so many years, but in the end, he chose me. I can only say, a man can never forget his first love. She also sent me a video. At the dinner table, Ethan was playing with Sunny's delicate arm, mocking me in front of his friends. If Lynn didn't have some family background, I wouldn't have bothered with her in the first place. But as soon as I beckoned her a little, she clung on and wouldn't leave. Like a stubborn adhesive, impossible to shake off. Just watch, sooner or later she'll be crying and begging me to come back, but unfortunately, there won't be a chance. She keeps saying she's married, just to spite me for registering our marriage with Sunny, hoping I'll go comfort her. I flew over to give her a way out, but she refused, so don't blame me. I've already come clean with my family. When she returns to the country and wants me to honor the agreement, she'll find out it's too late. Once this opportunity is gone, there won't be another. After watching that, I recalled what he and his mother said. Honestly, I don't feel the slightest regret. I opened the wedding invitation that the designer had just finished making for me. I forwarded it to all my friends with one click, including Sunny and some mutual friends of Ethan. I replied to Sunny, "Sorry, our weddings are on the same day, so I can't attend." 5 minutes after sending out the invitation, my Facebook messages didn't stop. My friends were all shocked. What's going on? Isn't the groom Ethan? When did you break up behind our backs and start seeing someone else? You disappeared for so long, and now you suddenly make such a big deal? I patiently explained to them one by one. Naturally, my friends are on my side. Looking at that pretentious guy, why doesn't he act like a decent person? I saw long ago that he wasn't good enough for Lynn. What kind of person is still entangled with a childhood sweetheart in his 30s? How is the groom? You rushed into a marriage without even checking him out. I said to them with a smile. The groom is a good person, my mom has already checked him out for me. They all said they would help me block the door at that time. To really test the groom's sincerity. Some friends who are close to Ethan reacted very strangely. They received my invitation, but one by one they pretended to be mute. No replies, no congratulations. Really rude. But after 10 minutes, a call came through. Lynn, what do you mean? I sent an invitation, and you did too? I looked at the phone and wanted to hang up. Ethan said, if you don't want me to get married, you can say it directly. Sunny's health has improved, I can consider canceling the wedding. I heard Sunny on the other end of the phone quietly call out once. Ethan. Ethan seemed not to hear and continued, you don't need to use a fake marriage to annoy me. I suddenly felt that communicating with some people living in their own world is really exhausting. I didn't say anything and directly sent Sunny the inner page of the marriage certificate between Ian and me. She would speak up for me. Sure enough, the next second, Sunny on the other end excitedly said, Ethan, look, she really got married. Ethan was silent for a long, long time. Then he said, it's obviously fake, she photoshopped it. I had nothing to say. I hung up the phone directly. On the first day back in the country going to work at the company, I met Ethan waiting for me in the parking lot. He stopped me, looking a bit helplessly at me, and asked, did you really marry him? I couldn't move forward, and his secretary was blocking me from behind. I could only stand still and quietly answer him. Yes, the wedding is the day after tomorrow, the same day as yours. Ethan's face instantly turned pale, he frowned and stared at me blankly. As if he had never known me before. How can you marry a stranger? Can you take some responsibility for your own life? I laughed, and he actually started lecturing me. Should I just watch him marry another woman? Spending 7 years of youth on him isn't enough, and I have to spend a lifetime too? Is that being responsible for my own life? I held back my annoyance and said calmly, he's not a stranger, I've known him longer than I've known you. Ethan's eyes flickered, and he murmured, why have you never told me? What's there to say? You never said before that you had a childhood sweetheart you couldn't forget. I sneered. Ethan's eyes darkened a bit, and his tone softened. I won't hold the wedding with her, and the divorce will be handled back there. You should also take care of your side. I was stunned, raising my eyebrows to look at him. What are you doing? Ethan pressed his lips. Let's make up and be like before. I laughed out loud. Don't joke around, why would you think I want a second-hand man? Ethan had never heard me speak with such sarcasm. His eyes instantly reddened, and he came up to pull me. What about you? Are you willing to marry a man you don't love? I forcefully shook him off, but he held me tightly. The disgusting touch on my wrist made me explode with incredible strength. I raised my hand and slapped him. Ethan! The one I don't love is you. Please, go far away. Ethan let go of my other hand. Covering his face, he took 2 steps back, staring at me in a daze. He opened his mouth, his eyes red to a frightening degree, stammering, Lynn, are you serious? Yes. I've never been more serious than now. Please, hurry up and marry your childhood sweetheart, fulfill her life's wish, and stop entangling me. I don't want to have anything to do with you anymore. After shouting this recklessly, I took 2 deep breaths. Ethan's eyes trembled, and he seemed a bit out of breath. He loosened his tie and took several deep breaths. His voice trembled as he said, but I love you, Lynn. I was wrong, I didn't realize before how much I love you. The moment I knew you were really getting married, I realized how much I couldn't accept a life without you. He spoke very movingly. But I just looked at him coldly. I took out my phone and opened the video Sonny sent me. I played it. If Lynn's family weren't somewhat well off, I wouldn't have bothered with her at all. But just a little beckoning from me, and she clung on, refusing to leave. Like a stubborn dog's skin plaster, impossible to shake off. Ethan couldn't stand it anymore, his face pale as he shouted, enough, enough. I'll turn off the video. Smiling, I looked at him. He opened his mouth twice but closed it again, finally only saying, Lynn, those aren't true feelings. I interrupted him, word by word, do you know what you look like right now? Ethan looked at me with moist eyes. I sneered coldly, like a dog with a sticky plaster. Finally, I looked at him with disgust. I stepped away in high heels and turned around. After entering the elevator, I watched him stand there dazed, as if he hadn't come to his senses for a long time. Ian and I's wedding came as scheduled. He had prepared everything, I just needed to get up on time. Dressed up, looking at myself in the mirror wearing the wedding dress. I still feel a bit dazed. Outside, the sound of cars started. My friends had already blocked the door downstairs at my place. My brother was holding the door, carrying the shoe Ian lost the day of the accident, making a big demand. Whether it can be redeemed depends on your sincerity. Ian took out his phone and tapped a few times. The next second, my brother looked at his phone, his eyes wide open. Tens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. I heard a loud thud of someone kneeling on the ground in the room. Brother-in-law, the little brother will serve you like a beast of burden. Ian's voice was holding back laughter as he instructed him, go, open the door for me. Thick red envelopes fell from the sky. The friends who had said they would test Ian's sincerity ended up picking up red envelopes until their hands were full. I was sold out so easily. On the way to the wedding venue, the car turned out of the intersection. A somewhat familiar figure flashed past outside the window. Looking closely, it was Ethan. He was wearing a wedding suit, leaning against the car. Watching the stream of wedding cars passing by him. His face showed clear loneliness. The car drove away, and I didn't look back at him. I'm not worried that he will cause trouble at my wedding today. After all, the Chin family can't afford to lose face over this person. After getting married, Ian and I have become more and more comfortable with each other. I never knew that being with a true lover could be this comfortable. There's no need to scheme or constantly compromise oneself. In the 3rd month of my post-marriage honeymoon, a friend brought me news. Lynn, did you know that Ethan lost his divorce case? I actually knew that Ethan never held a wedding with Sunny in the first place. Later, I deliberately blocked their news and stopped following up. Ethan asked Sunny for a divorce 3 months ago. Sunny cried desperately and refused to agree. She made Ethan's mother so upset that she was hospitalized several times, threatening that unless she died, Sunny would never be allowed into the Chin family. At this time, Sunny became pregnant. The Chin family's maid said that Sunny bribed her to steal Ethan's sperm and injected herself to get pregnant. The Chin family lost all face but couldn't get rid of this woman. Ethan became a complete laughingstock. He ran abroad to clear his mind to avoid the mess at home. I don't even know where he went. I looked at the postcard that appeared in my mailbox. It was from the Maldives, with no signature. There was only one sentence. The Maldives is beautiful, but unfortunately, you are not here. I casually threw it into the trash bin. My life is also beautiful. Fortunately, you are not in it.